Okay, so in this what we're doing is I'm just making a script that allows us to move these pieces. That's basically all we're looking for. So I actually don't need any of these functions. Get rid of those because we're going to make custom ones. First thing I'm going to need though is basically, all right. Well, we'll start writing the functions and then I'll put the variables we need because some of them are a little bit ambiguous. So I'm going to make a function. This is another built-in one. So on mouse down. So when the mouse is currently clicked down, it's going to do this action. It's going to we're going to store. So basically what we need to do is we need to have the distance between where you're clicking and where the object is that you're clicking. So it's like world space, like screen space to world space. So the way it works is that there's this screen space in here, and then there's world space that's actually inside of this. And basically there's a discrepancy between the two. Like over here might be 0, 0 for screen space, but in world it's like negative, you know, whatever on X and whatever negative whatever on Y. You know what I mean? So it's not the same. So I need to make a variable for that. That's going to hold the difference. So I'm going to do a variable distance, and it's going to be a vector 3. Okay, because basically it's world space, so there's going to be a z attribute to this. So I'm going to do dist is equal to camera, and this is like a built-in thing. Dot main dot world to screen point transform dot position. Okay, so basically the distance is going to be, it's going to take the world to screen point, and it's going to take the position of my cursor, and it's going to put it, it's going to convert it for me. Okay, then all I'm going to say is I'm going to say the position. So then I need to describe the position I want the object that has this attached to it has. So I'm going to do a variable POS X, which is going to be a float, and a variable POS Y, which is going to be a float as well. Okay, so basically we're going to say, so position X is going to be equal to the input dot mouse position dot X minus the dist up here dot X. Okay, so basically it's the discrepancy between the two, and I'm gonna do the same thing for Y. Oops, Y, and this is going to be, we're going to assign it the input of the mouse position dot Y minus the distance, oops, minus distance dot Y. Okay, and what that's going to allow us to do, I'm just going to go ahead and save this so you can kind of see how it works. Oh, actually, we got to do that. So that's going to be on mouse down. So this is going to set up the initial position data. Then what I got to do is do a function on mouse drag. Okay. And basically what that's going to do is this. I'm going to make a variable. It's going to make it every time for the current position, and it's going to be equal to a new vector 3. All right, and that vector 3, vector 3 is going to have the input dot mouse position dot X minus the POS X. All right, so I'm just making my 3 vectors here, and then input dot mouse position dot Y minus POS Y, and then we're just going to say dist dot Z, because I'm not worried about depth, because we're just doing what is going on here, dot Z. I'm not worried about the position as far as, you know, the depth. Okay, then we're going to do variable world position is going to be equal to the camera. Oops, actually, so this is based on camera dot main. Come on, dot main. I don't know what keeps happening here. Dot screen to world point, and that's going to be the current position. All right, and then it's just going to transform based on that. Transform dot position, and it's going to equal to the world position. Okay. And that's it. Control S, and it's probably going to have errors. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Okay, so expect a semicolon. So it says line 3. You can see I didn't put one. Good. Let's go back down here, see if there's anything else. Click in there. Good. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this move script on each one of these puzzles. Actually, I wonder if I can do it like this. Move script, just drop it like that. There we go. And now when I hit play, I can grab each one of these and move them, which is basically what that script allows me to do. Fabulous. Okay? Good. And so you can, put these together, and this will, I don't remember how it went. I'm bad at this game already. I don't know. You can put each one of them together and it will work out, right? Which is good. Yay. But obviously I want to make it so that they stick. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this puzzle group, W, and I'm going to move it over and kind of center it like this. And then what I'm going to do is take each one of these things here, and I'm going to try and center them on each one of the puzzle pieces, so that way they'll snap to it. So I'll put this here. I'm going to take the next one too. I'll put it in the center of this one. Okay. Take number 3. I'm going to put it here. Probably been better if I would have actually cut this into equal pieces, but 4 I want to be, we'll put here. 5, guess I'll put here. 6, we'll put here. And 7, I'll put here. 8, I will put here. And then 9, we'll put here. Okay. So basically, it's kind of like on center of each one of those, and that's where they are. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that when one of these elements collide with that object, like when I put my cursor over it, it's just going to snap to it. Okay. It's going to stop making it move and set its position to where that is. So basically, when it gets within a vicinity, it's going to make that happen. Okay. So we're going to have to make a script for each one of these placement groups that's going to basically turn off the other, okay? And that's what we're going to do. So let's get to it. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new script. So create JavaScript, and I'm just going to call this one the snap script. Snap script. And I'm going to go ahead and open it. Boom. And I'm not going to need any of these. I am going to need, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take, this is going to have to interact with the other script, because if it doesn't interact with it, it can't tell it to turn off. Otherwise, I'll pull it over and it'll hit it, and then it will let me keep moving it. It won't stop moving because of my cursor. So I have to turn the other one off when this one is turned on. So I'm going to make a variable to hold the other script. So it's going to be variable, and this is going to be move script, because that's what it's called. And the variable is going to be move script. And it's actually just the name of the script itself, because that's the name of the component, because that's what I named that script. And then we're going to do a function. And this is, again, a built-in one. So on trigger, enter, enter 2D. And you remember that we did that. Remember I've added a colliders and I made them triggers. Okay, so when it enters this thing, when it enters its box here, it's going to fire this function. That's the basic idea of it. And it's going to be, I am going to send it parameters. The parameters are going to be what it collides with. So this is actually going to store the, it's got to be a capital collider 2D. This is going, no, it's capital 2D. This is actually going to store the what it collides with, so that way I know which one to turn off. Okay, and it's going to be this. All right, and it's going to, the variable that it's going to be called, the collider, is going to be other. So I'm going to say other dot transform dot position dot x is going to be equal to transform dot position dot x. And I'll tell you what this means in a second, because you're like, you're kind of writing the same thing, right? But it's not. Transform dot position dot y, and we're going to assign it the value of transform dot position dot position dot y. Oh, I forgot the s. Save. Okay, and then we are going to send to the other script, that move script. We're going to send that dot position final. We're going to make a function on that script called position final. We're gonna call that script, and that's we're gonna attach it to the other script, this move script that says position final. All right. So what this is actually going to do is that it's going to say when it enters this, it's going to take the other's transform position x, and it's going to assign it to the same value as this object itself, which in this case would be this. So in essence, what it's going to do is it's going to make, when I get in vicinity and get close enough, it's just going to shove it directly on top of it. It's going to make it the same position as the object. Okay. And then we'll just save that. I'm going to click back here and see if there's any errors. Okay, position final is not a member of move script. So the reason why it's saying that is that if you recall, I didn't make a position final on this move script, so it's like that doesn't exist. So I just have to make it on my move script here. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm just going to make a function called position final that gets called when this happens. So it's going to be function position final. And all I'm going to do is, and I got to make a variable for it too, that's just going to say whether it's in the final position or not, and I'm just going to turn it on or off. Okay, so we're going to say position final, and it's going to be a Boolean because it's on or off, and we're going to go ahead and set that equal to false, right, because it's not in the final position to start off with. But this function is going to go ahead and basically position final, it's going to assign it a value of true. Okay, and then when that happens, up here, it allows me to move. I'm going to make a test that says if it's in this final position, that it doesn't do this. So it has to not be in final position in order for this to work. So I'm just going to go if, and I'm going to say not final, or POS. So exclamation point means not, so PS fine. So if that's not true, then it can do this stuff. And I'm just gonna tab these in. Tab, tab, tab. So basically, this has to be false. The position final has to be false in order for it to allow you to move it. If it is in the final position, then it won't work. Okay. Good. Then we'll save that. And now this should go away. Okay. So POS final. It was expecting an end of line. Or end of, okay, so 7.1 on move script. So, oops, 7.1. Oh, I didn't write variable. Let's see. And good. All right. Now what I need to do is on all of these, my placement scripts, I need to put the move script. Okay, so, or not move script, the snap script. So I'm just going to drop them on there. So now they all have the snap script. Now, what you're going to notice is this. If I hit play, it's going to allow me to move these still. All right, which is great. But they don't snap on anything. The reason why is that if you look, I put a variable in here that's, or not on this one, on the snap script, that basically if the, that it has to hold, actually hang on a second, what am I doing? It has to hold the move script of an object. Now, each one of these have the move script, so it's going to turn off the move script for each one of these individually. So I have to attach it to this. So this first one should be puzzle 1. And then what's going to happen is, which actually might not even let me move it. Let's see. See, it already doesn't let me. Oh, no, it did. Okay, watch. And it's doing nothing. Okay. The reason why is that I need to add physics 2D onto this. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem to work without it. I am going to pause it here, and then we'll finish this on the next video.